Yes, guys, welcome from me, Championship Manager 0102, the Game On Challenge, Part 60. We have really fucking killed it this weekend with some mammoth sessions, which has seen us fire through an additional 2.5 years in game time since the last update. The last update was the 7th of March 2060, and as you can see right in the corner there, the date is the 30th of July 62, and you can see where I am. Let's start with me first, right? It's been quite emotional almost. So we were at Barcelona. We left Bayern Munich to go to Barcelona on the 16th of November 2059. We concluded the season with Barcelona and we got them promoted out of the second division of Spain, where we then left and went to QPR Division 2. We said about it, didn't we? Division 2, they had a bit of money to work with, and we got them promoted from Division 2 to Division 1, and at the end of last season, we got promoted to the Premiership, and then decided to return back to Bayern Munich. You know, you get to a stage where you take someone as far as you can, and I think the money was getting far and far between at QPR. But the objective was to get a small team, or whatever you want to call them, some mediocre team, into the top flight. And we absolutely smashed it with QPR. In fact, let me show you. Let's show you QPR first. There you see. We absolutely fucking killed it. And then the Bayern Munich job came available again. So we've opted to go back to Bayern Munich. Let's talk about Matt. Matt has just made the move. It's been amazing for Matt. So Matt has moved to Ajax. And you're probably thinking, why Ajax? Well, you know what, right? Let me give you the full story on Matt, right? So firstly, he left Frankfurt and went to Hull City on the 28th of September 2061. So he started this time last season, he was in charge of Frankfurt. But to be fair, he did the triple at Frankfurt the season before. You know, and his time in Germany, as he said, was done. And I think the fact that I moved to QPR probably spurs him to want to move as well. Maybe it's sort of, there's pros and cons, because he wanted to move. I'd gone to Cardiff City. Where have I got that from? Sorry, I'd gone to QPR, and he decided to move to Hull City. Now, it was bizarre really, because he moved to Hull City, who the season before had finished 5th. And the season before that had finished 1st in the Premier League. So the expectations, I felt, were going to be quite high at Hull. And he took over in, as you can see, September. Now, for so long, he was very insecure in his job. It was ridiculous. He took over with 6 games gone. They hadn't won in the opening 6 games. So the previous manager had already been sacked after 6 games. And he was very insecure. The board were unhappy. The fans were calling for his head. He was having a horrendous time. Now, I know Matt well enough to know that this was really hacking him off. He was getting so pissed off, so irate, because I fucking had enough. And I think he was in a no-win situation, because once you've just signed for a club, you can't then apply for another job. You've got to finish a season at least. And every time he lost a game, his name would be back on the list and blah 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 blah. But to be fair to him, he did very well. And it's tricky really, because I thought he had a title-winning squad there. You know, he inherited a good squad. He made 7 signings, but it just wasn't happening. But he did end up finishing 5th in the league. Now, the coefficients being quite shit in England, top 3 is what gets Champions League. And then there's 2 more for the UEFA Cup. 5th wasn't enough for the UEFA Cup, believe it or not. And funnily enough, he took over Hull and they weren't in the UEFA Cup because they finished 5th the previous season. So the top 3 go into the Champions League. 4th goes into the UEFA Cup. The FA Cup winners go into the FA Cup, as do the League Cup winners. So he finishes 5th. He then sees that the Ajax job is available. He takes over Ajax. Now, just cast your mind back a moment. I was Ajax not too long ago. We took over leaving Napoli, and we did the treble. Remember, we did we won the League, the Cup and the UEFA Cup before moving to Bayern Munich. So we'll start with Matt. Let's have a look at Ajax, and he's already made a couple of signings. Steve Giles, definitely, it's obvious who that is. That is in Neville Southall region. Great spot that is. He did say yesterday, as we finished the session, he's found a couple more beasts, but he didn't indulge into who they were. Makes a difference because I've already made all my signings. So he'll be very pleased. I mean, he always asks me my views on the move to Ajax. He didn't even ask my view on the move to Ajax, so I think it was an easy decision to go. Now, I remember from my days at Ajax, they've got some real good players, real young, prosperous as well. You know, they had some really good youngsters to come through the ranks. I'm not sure who they've brought, who they've sold since then. Linda's a great player. So yeah, he's got some solid players. So let's go to me then. So we took over Bayern Munich on the 28th of April. Now, it was harsh really for Matt. So we had just clinched the title because we did it so convincingly. We won the title, Division 1 title, so it had already gone on our record that we won a title. Then the Bayern Munich job comes available because their manager had moved to whoever, some fucking merry-go-round. So he moved to Bayern Munich, and they hadn't clinched the German title at that point, but we then clinched the German title and the Champions League. We did lose the cup final, so we joined them on the 28th of April with a triple within distance. As it happens, we won the league and the Champions League. The league we were in control, but we hadn't confirmed it. So that, when we did get confirmation, that went down as ours, which I feel a little bit, but hey ho. Now, you're asking yourself, oh, for fuck's sake, you've gone back to Bayern Munich. Well, this is what keeps the game interesting, you know, going round full circle. I said to Matt yesterday, I said, this is what keeps the game interesting, to move around. Yes, alright, it's Bayern Munich again. There's really, I don't think I'll go back to England, I will not go back to England. I will not go back to England. I had it with Derby, and Matt has pretty much enjoyed it with Hull City. Taking the little team up 2 divisions, check. I wouldn't go to Argentina or Brazil. I don't think I want to go to France, Portugal, Belgium, Italy maybe. I ain't ruling Italy out, and I'm not going to rule out Russia. Russia is still an option. So Bayern Munich, we inherited an already assembled squad, ridiculous squad, and we've made our 7 signings. Now let me remind you, one of these signings, there was one signing which was pre-arranged, so that don't count as my 7. So we've actually made 8 signings since the turn of the calendar year. We started with a staggering £950 million it was. I think it was, yeah, it was. And you can see now, you're going to work out what we've spent. So we will start then with Marcelo de Silva Jr. He was a pre-arranged deal. Now, believe it or not, all the players that I signed were all celebrated by the fans, so it just means that they're all quite quality players. So he signed Danny de Jong. We really rated Frankfurt. Danny de Jong, do we like him? Of course we fucking do. Ballis from Arsenal, solid, absolutely solid. Omar Flores from Frankfurt, solid. RG Haig, solid. Francisco Nuno, solid. That, I believe Matt said that is Figo. The Russian, remember the Russian? We bought him at Barcelona, believe it or not, in second tier. More about that in a moment. And we managed to nab him as well. We were looking at this Russian before. Solid. And finally, Frank Vandenberg from Frankfurt, solid. Now, funnily enough, right, by the time June came, I actually had, forget the pre-arranged deal, I had 8 players arriving, so 1 player was going to have to leave, and that's the player that I decided to surrender. I had to decide, one player I had to, you know, scupper one deal in order to keep it within the rules. I opted for Lazic because I know I needed defence. I mean, we've got some great players already. Bashir, I remember getting him at Bayern Munich first time around. Look at him, he looks absolutely insane. De Boer, the Wilfred Boomer regen. I remember getting Pettersson as well. And just see, we've got Khan regen. We've got Hesp. Now, you may remember Hesp because when I took over Ajax, Matt said, shit, I've been tracking a guy called Hesp. And I ended up getting him at Bayern Munich. And look at him, he looks fucking phenomenal. We've got the Alcohola regen. Still looks amazing. You know, we've got some real quality. And let me also show you Ronaldo 9. He's still here. He's actually the star man. But he doesn't want to entertain a new contract. Little prick. But it'll be his last season anyway. So we've got ourselves quite the fucking squad. I mean, Dosberg, look at him for a player. We've got so many Dutch players, it's unreal. It really is unreal. So we've saved just at the start of the League Cup. Now, I've done something different on the League Cup this time around. I actually took all my players out of training. Because I fucking hate the League Cup in Germany. It's fucking bullshit. So we will start with everybody close to 100%. Very, very happy with that indeed. That is my provisional lineup. We've done our penalty takers. We've got exactly 25 players in the setup. So that's everybody for the Champions League. That includes this guy here, Gautier, who is going to be unprotected. He's going to be unprotected 14th of January. So unless he moves on the 14th or the 15th, which is unlikely, I'll have him for the season, then he'll go. A bit like with the Ronaldo 9, he's out of contract, but he will qualify because, you know, I haven't got a massive squad. Very, very pleased. Danny de Jong is going to be my captain in the Van der Vaart region. But yeah, we have a really, we've even done a little bit of work on the coaches. You can see we've got some new physios in, some new scouts in, and we are ready. So let's have another in-depth look now then to Matt and what he's got planned ahead at Ajax. They won the title. They'd already won the title last season. Yeah, they've been quite the kings. And I think, you know, he has got some good players. Yeah, we just looked at him, didn't we? Costa, solid and very, very strong up front. Yeah, got some really good players. And I said this before about he's solid. I said this before about Holland. The youth concept in Holland, I think, is next to none. It is absolutely remarkable. I remember this guy now, Van der Linden. I remember him. Yeah, these guys, Van Delft. I remember they had a couple Van Delfts. Yeah, he's definitely got. He needs to still sign some players. Let's see, he's secure. So secure would probably tell me he's got about 20 odd million, give or take. And we'll see how we go. We will see how we go. Very, very exciting for me. Bayern Munich, I think this is a long-term deal now. Unless a job in, unless a job in Italy comes up, you know. It was interesting because whilst I was in QPR, particularly last season, I had no intentions to leave QPR until I had sewn up a title. And there was a lot of jobs coming and going. The whole City job came when Matt went, and right from the moment go. In fact, let's have a look at they're secure now. Now that's interesting, isn't it, Matt? Hull City are secure. Because he went down to 100 grand in debt as well, which didn't help. And pretty much like my QPR, I pointed out yesterday, right, to Matt. I went to QPR, and half their staff have gone, as well as half the staff. And the same with Matt, because Matt wouldn't have had that shitty amount of staff. No way. So let's just see if they've sold anybody. Another thing that happened, I'll show you my QPR in a minute. But 7 signings Matt made. Oh, do you know what? I didn't realise that. He only made 5. He didn't make the 7. It was very difficult. I think the fact that they were champions the season before last and finished 5th, for me tells the expectations are high. That being said, Matt told me that the board said they want him to battle against relegation. So I don't know. I think for Matt, I think it's. I think going to Huddersfield, I was a little bit surprised. I felt that moving to the Premier League is all right if you're going to take it to a big club. Moving to a little team, I don't know. I don't know. It's a tricky one. Let me know your thoughts on that. But I don't know. He made the move out anyway from Frankfurt. he did say about he'd like to come back to Germany, with me being in Germany. Then he said he don't want to come back to Germany because of the side that I've building. I've been very shrewd, right, with my signings. You'll notice that my biggest rivals were obviously Frankfurt, and you'll see three of my big signings are against from Frankfurt. So let's derail those fuckers. Maybe a return to Scout for Matt. I say Scout because we know that they had a vast amount of money. So what I was going to show you is I was going to show you QPR, weren't I? So QPR then. Let me show you some of the signings that I made at QPR during my 2 years. So we brought this guy, and you can see he's already left. What about that in a moment? Lefrick was a pre-arranged. Actually, no, tell a lie. I didn't buy him. Sorry, I didn't buy him. I actually took over on the third. On the third, I took over. That was right. That makes sense. So Richard Turner was our first. Martin Simons, who has now left. More about that in a moment. Strom's home. I like him. I like him a lot. I've added him to my shortlist. Di Nicola was absolutely superb. But Janssen, you may remember, yeah, it was superb. Burhan, they've sold him recently, the bastards. Gary Roberts, I sold him, what about that in a moment. And last season we brought in a bloomer. We brought him, Iliasson was absolutely phenomenal for me. He did really, really well. John Dylan De Cruz did very well. John Burke, Maria, if that's how you call it, Ramirez, and this striker, absolutely brilliant. But I fucked up. I genuinely fucked up because we lost. I decided to sell Simons. He wasn't number one in my team, and Liverpool came with a 7 million offer, and the money wasn't great, so we opted to sell him. So that's what happened first. Then Wolves triggered a release clause on this bastard. I was so pissed off, So we lost him. I was happy to get rid of Gary Roberts, despite him being one of the star men. But the bottom line is, I had that other Greek striker. So as you can see, we opted to flog him for £10 million. So since then they've decided to sell Berhalten. So I had to be realistic that I didn't have no players coming in. I had no pre-arranged deals at QPR because it was in my mind that I was going to probably take a new challenge. Didn't expect Bayern Munich. Didn't expect Bayern Munich to come available when they did. That was just fucking stupid. In fact, we can actually see their manager. This is what is completely flawed in the game, as you know. So there you see, they hired Alejandro Maldonado, and he went to Celta Vigo. A quick blast at Spain, very, very quickly. Atletico Madrid, who Bayern Munich. I say we. I feel like didn't deserve the title in the Champions League, but fuck it. And Atletico Madrid we beat in the final. That is 5 in a row for Atletico Madrid. Observation really, because they are only secure. They're only secure. And they've won 5 titles in a row. And just finally, before I go, quick blast. In the German league, we know that they're going to have probably £1 billion, Dortmund. But let me just show you that Dortmund were relegated the season before last. And they have, as you can see, they've made promotion. So, will Matt return? I don't quite think they've got the squad that they once had. Well, they haven't. But he would have resources there. Dortmund maybe, Schalke, Frankfurt return maybe. I don't think he'll go back to Frankfurt. I think Schalke is an option. I think Dortmund is an option if he wants to return to Germany. For me, if I'm going to go little team, then I'll go little team. If I'm going to do a big team, I'll go big team. It doesn't matter who it is, And maybe after a year, if I was to win a few things, I might just think, no, I can't be bothered. I'll go to somewhere. I'll do, that is how it is. Yes, it's another time at Bayern Munich, but fuck you. Right, that is it from me, guys. I've enjoyed the video in this epic of a game. As I said, it's part 60 as we now entertain season 62 in this ODB absolute classic. Till next time from me, guys. Take it easy.